First things first, man. If you bring in Black Force Energy, all NBA 2K26, man, make sure you like, sub, and share. Turn on the notification bell. This is the first of many videos for y'all boys, man. Today, I'm going to be showing y'all the most diverse big man build in the game. I can score from anywhere on the court, behind the arc, in the mid-range, with floaters, fades, in the post, and I can facilitate a little bit, also playing defense and still getting boards, man. Let's get right into this, man. I'll show y'all exactly how I made this. All right, y'all, so let's start it off with the shooting. I picked 93 for my mid-range. I started off with a 66 three-pointer, which I cap broke to 90. And then since this is a fives build, I put 82 free throw on it. And I know for some people, the mid-range might be a little bit high. And obviously, you can tweak this however you want. You could, take the midi down to around 82 or something and put that on rebound and put it somewhere else, But to me, I just wanted this build to be a complete bucket. I nailed everything inside the mid-range, and I feel like it's worth it. The main thing about all of these builds is about the teammates you run with and them understanding the strengths of your build and the weaknesses. So some of the mid-range stuff, or really all the attributes, are not only just dependent upon yourself making the shots, knowing when to take shots and all these things, but having teammates that look for you in these areas and give you proper floor spacing. So to me, if you're playing with a team and you're playing with, your friends and y'all are running pro-am and all this stuff and you're trying to win games and stuff, to me, this is a lot of offense to where you could carry, a couple lockdowns on your team. You can create a hell of a lot of space for, your attacking point guard and, all these 6'8" demigod builds. Like, people with builds like Joe knows. I think his center runs a similar center to this build right here. So yeah, man, I mean, when it comes to floor spacing and just being a constant threat to keep the paint open for people slipping and cutting to the basket, this is the best build for that. And that's why I chose to make shooting from anywhere on the floor, very, very important to this build. So with finishing, y'all, I went 88 close shot, 70 driving layup, 73 driving dunk, 90 standing dunk, and 79 post control. So yeah, man, with those finishing attributes, I feel like I'm still really, really great in pick and roll. And when I catch the ball on the outside after I make a couple threes and people are hard charging at me, I can pump fake, step to the side, man, and finish around the rim a lot of different ways, whether it's dunking on them, not real contact dunks, obviously, with the 73 driving, but I could get busy in the paint, man. Standing dunk is on a 90. Also, if the paint is just a little bit clogged and I know the defense is playing the passing lanes, the floaters are really, really good this year. I don't know if y'all are using them on any of your builds, whatever build you have, but that 88 close shot paired with that 70 driving layup is more than enough to give you a decent sized green window to hit the floaters. So 88 close shot to me is well worth it, especially when you factor in the post fades that are actually great again this year. And to me, like, it's perfect for what I like to do. I wish in a perfect world I could have had higher post control, but I'm not really down in the post enough to like sacrifice other, things, So I just went ahead and made it a 79. I got all the badges I needed on silver at least, and that was fine for me. All right, y'all, so I chose an 82 for interior defense, 50 for perimeter defense, 39 for steal, and 93 for block. So basically, man, my whole premise is, I want to get good contests in the paint. That's why I chose 82. I'm 7'1", so I did invest in perimeter defense, and I could cap breaker to 64, I believe, which I might end up doing. But I am 7'1", so I wasn't really tripping on that. I'm taller than pretty much almost everybody that I'd be switching on to. 39 still, I'm not really reaching on this build at all. 93 block. This helps me get really good jump animations at shooters on, around the arc, and also, in the paint in general. This whole build's defense is rooted around the block. the block rating. And to me, to be honest, it's worked. It's worked decently. It's hard to get stops on this game in general. So I can't say whether it's good or bad. And I'm sure if I had 99 defense, it would be a lot better. But it's enough for me to not be a complete liability. So on our fives team, what we do is my boy Prof Doty. He runs a 6'11" power forward. I'll have him normally switch on to the center or switch in the middle if we run in a 2-3 zone, and I'll defend the corner and just swoop in for the defensive rebound. So, the build in general, it is slow. It's a 7'1", 240-pound big man. So, but that's why you have a defensive back end at 6'9", 6'10" that can really move well to make up for you not being the most, movable piece on defense. So this is more than enough. Again, if you have a team that you are building around each other's strengths and weaknesses, when it comes to player builds especially, this is more than enough defense to be a really, really good team defender. Especially when you factor in, which I'll move right into it, the defensive rebounding on this build. I have a 90 defensive rebounding, and that was my cap. To me, rebounding is essential in basketball. It's one of the most important stats in the game. Let me know how y'all feel about that, man. Closing possessions, limiting second chance points, rewarding your team for the great defense that they just played, to me, is paramount. So I had to max that out, because it's all about, being a great defender within the structure of a scheme, right? So that's what I went ahead and that's what I chose. That's why I built this build how I did, man, in terms of that, y'all. And to pair with my 90 offensive rebound, I have a 65 O board, which I understand is low, but this is a stretch big build. I am rarely in the paint. I have a 90 3-pointer. I have a 93, a midi. So at this point, man, I'm cool with it because I'm really outside of the arc to keep the paint open for my guards and my power forwards cutting and slashing to the goal, which is the reason why you make a build like this to begin with. And 65 is enough for me to, on offense, paired with my hustle rebounder already, which I think maxes out on gold with the 90 board, I believe. It's enough for me to get animations when I'm down there with one other person, to get a rebound, to get my offensive boards. This build wasn't created to be just a horse. This build was created to be good at rebounding, to not really necessarily be a complete liability for your team, especially when paired with the power forward like the one I normally run with. So yeah, 65 O board is good enough as long as you pair it with 90 rebounding, 90 defensive rebounding, in my opinion, y'all. So let me know what y'all think about that. All right, and here are my physicals, man. I went with a 66 speed, 53 agility, 83 strength, and an 80 vertical. The vertical is very good on a 7-1 build. I think I maxed it all out. I'm able to sky to get boards, especially. I really like it. The only thing I don't like about this build is the 83 strength. Honestly, I don't like that I have to cap break or brick wall to get it above silver. And if I went back, I possibly would try to find a way to get that higher, to really, really be an even bigger threat in the pick and roll game. Have that on gold or Hall of Fame, I feel like would do wonders. But, it is what it is. And, like I said, this is a stretch big build. If you want to do that, if your team wants to have a better screen setter, it might be more valuable to maybe invest with the power forward, maybe putting his strength up to get brick wall gold and have him set the screens. And, you could do interesting stuff, I'm sure. But that's really one of the main and only downfalls of this build, I feel like, right there, is the strength. Man, how could I almost forget about the playmaking on this build? Listen, you have an 82 passing accuracy, 71 ball handle, and a 54 speed with ball. This is a build that you can ISO on. We've all seen all the clips of people, ISOing all over the court with this build. You can momentum dribble on it. You can, you know, equip the behind the back. I think it's normal 2 or something like that to you know, create your own shots, create a little bit of space. Man, the playmaking on here is fine. You know, you're able to be. This is truly a build where you can really run a whole offense through it, man. So let me know what y'all think. Do you have something similar to this? Is this a big man that you would want to play with? Also, man, listen, I am looking for guards to play with, lockdowns. You know, me and my crew, we're trying to expand. We're trying to get better. And you know, just have some good people to get these dubs with and enjoy the game with, man. So if y'all are looking for that, y'all are down with good vibes, man, hit me up. Make sure y'all like, sub, and share, and I'm going to have more for y'all very soon. Thank you.